Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who do not know me, hello, my name is Ike, and normally I talk about whatever I want over speed paints of me doing hot old ladies. But for today's video, it's different. I am going to be talking about Akira Toriyama in today's video. For those of you who do not know, Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball Z, and other works, has passed away at the age of 68. And I just wanted to come on my own platform and give my condolences. So, due to the topic of today's video, I didn't feel like a speed paint was appropriate, nor did I feel like it was appropriate to put this video up on my Patreon first, because I didn't want to make any type of money off of this. So this is just going straight onto the YouTube channel. But for those of you who do not know me that well, Dragon Ball Z was a huge part of my entire life, not just my childhood, my entire life. Literally up until yesterday, I started rewatching Dragon Ball Z from the start for the third time. That's how much Akira Toriyama and his art meant to me. And this is actually my third time now recording this, because the first time I tried to record it was at 5 in the morning, and it was still hitting me so hard that I couldn't even talk about it without crying. I hope I can get through this whole recording without crying. And then the second time, I just felt like I still feel speechless. I'm like, what do you say? What do you say when you hear news like this? When someone as legendary and iconic and as special as Akira Toriyama passes away, there's almost nothing to say, but also so much to say at the same time. So I basically saw the news almost as it came out. I was working on the Carol and the End of the World video that was supposed to go up on my Patreon today, which obviously is going to get pushed back because I'm making this video instead. But I was working on that, and then someone in my Patreon Discord server had said that Akira Toriyama had passed away. And I, obviously at first I thought that was a joke. Please tell me you're joking. Please tell me it's not real. And then I looked in my Discord messages, and I saw a message from my friend Lee, and he messaged me the same thing. And he sent me the link from the official Dragon Ball Z Twitter account that had the letter attached to it, basically stating that and confirming that Akira Toriyama had indeed passed away. And I was in so much shock. I still almost didn't want to believe it, but I'm like, why the hell would the official Dragon Ball Z account tweet this if it wasn't true? What kind of sick joke would that be? So, and never in my life did I think that this news would hit me as hard as it did. And the thing is, we all knew this day was coming one day. Maybe not as soon, but one day. Because I didn't know exactly how old Akira Toriyama was, but I knew that he was up there in age. So I knew that day was going to come eventually, but this just feels so soon, 68. It's that's kind of young to pass away like that, but, so, I was expecting to shed a few tears, but when I tell you the more I sat with it, the more inconsolable I became. I started, tears came out, and then I started crying, and I started sobbing. It just kept getting worse and worse. And And I guess you don't really realize how much someone has an impact on your life until they're already gone, which kind of sucks, but that's just kind of how humans are. You don't realize how much something or someone means to you until it's taken away from you. And I think the crazier thing is that I didn't even know Mr. Toriyama personally. But I'm feeling like this, and many other people who loved him and his work feel like this. So if I'm feeling like this, I can't even imagine how his family and friends feel. So like, my thoughts are with them, because I can't imagine how shattering this news is. So what I'm feeling right now is not even a fraction of the pain they're feeling. So I really am thinking of them and keeping them in my thoughts. But yeah, it just hit me so much harder than I ever thought it would. And, I think it's also because, I'm an artist. I literally started drawing. Because of Toriyama. I have the platform that I have because of Toriyama. So I just feel like it's appropriate for me to give him a tribute. Because without him, I would not have the platform that I have. I would not be as skilled as an artist as I am if it wasn't for, if it wasn't for him. So, I just feel like it's only appropriate. So, I mean, I guess I want to start by saying, like, one of my earliest memories of Dragon Ball Z, like, well, the thing is, if it wasn't Sailor Moon, then Dragon Ball Z was probably the first anime I've ever seen in my life. I have an older brother, as well as a younger sister, but my older brother would, put on Dragon Ball Z on Toonami. We would watch Dragon Ball Z together, and it was always such an amazing time. Like, there's just something about watching Dragon Ball Z as a kid that, like, it was really something special. Like, just something about watching Dragon Ball Z back in the day, like, was just so exciting. It was so eventful. It was almost like every episode was an event. Like, it was so amazing. And I also like to say that I was really lucky, because my mom did not let us watch violent TV at all. She did not let us watch violent TV except for Dragon Ball Z. To this day, I don't know why Dragon Ball Z was the exception, but especially the way that these giant beefy men were beating up on each other, but she let us watch it. She was cool with it, and to this day I still don't know why. But I think that just goes to show how special Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z really is, and how special Akira Toriyama was. And mind you, my mom even knows the characters. She didn't just let us watch it. She knows the characters. She knows Goku, she knows Vegeta, she knows Trunks, she knows Gohan, she knows all of them. Mind you, my mom is a 60-plus-year-old African woman. She's an African-ass woman, and she can tell you who's who. She can tell you who's Krillin. She can tell you who's Yamcha. She can tell you who's Bulma. She knows that shit. And that's really, like, give her any other anime, she cannot tell you who's who. Dragon Ball Z, she's got it locked down. Like, that's how special it is, And I'm very grateful that that I was able to experience that in my childhood. I really would have missed out if my mom had really, like, locked in and said, no, you're not watching this. But she thought it was cool. My only thought is that she just thought Goku was cute. That's my only thought. But who knows? Maybe I'll ask her later today or something. But anyways, now that I'm thinking about it, I think probably one of the reasons why my mom left it on was just simply that there was just something about Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z that just resonated. Like, I know a lot of people of color around the world resonate with Dragon Ball Z on their own personal levels, but us as Black people, I feel like it resonated with us in a very special way. Especially during the Namek saga, and when Goku had to fight Frieza, and there are a lot of undertones regarding racism and prejudice against Saiyans from Frieza and his henchmen, and I just think that that's something that, and whether it's intentional or not by Mr. Toriyama, that just resonates so hard with so many Black people around the world that it's just truly something that's hard to replicate. And the fact that, the main character, Goku, was able to overcome that with sheer, with pure, willpower, with a pure heart, says a lot and means a lot. That was basically my first exposure to anime as a whole, but also my first watch through of Dragon Ball Z. And then I believe Dragon Ball Z Kai came on Nicktoons in 2011, I believe. And that's the year I started high school. So I just decided it was the year I finished middle school, and then I started high school in the fall, depending on when it came out. So I was like, okay, it's on TV, I'll watch it again. So I watched it a second time. Loved it. As expected, no surprise there. Loved it the fuck down. And then just recently, literally 2 days ago, I just felt like rewatching Dragon Ball Z from the start. There's just something, well, mostly because lately I've been watching a lot of Dragon Ball Z content on YouTube and a lot of commentary, so I was like, you know what, I just want to watch Dragon Ball Z from the start. That's how much I love Dragon Ball Z. I would watch all 200 plus episodes all over again. That's how much I love Dragon Ball Z. And something really interesting too, my sister, she's a little antisocial, but even with me, but the one way to get myself talking, to get her talking, is to talk about Dragon Ball Z. Literally, if I ever want to have a conversation with her, I'll just bring up Dragon Ball Z, and we could literally talk for hours about Dragon Ball Z. So Dragon Ball Z is like a core memory, it's like the core of so many good memories for me. So I think that's why Mr. Toriyama's passing was just so hard to take in, because it's because of him I have so many of these good memories, and that's something so special. Not many artists get to say something like that. Not many artists even have the fraction of the impact that Akira Toriyama had on so many people's lives and childhoods throughout the world, the entire world. It's just so crazy when you really think about the impact that he had on this world in his life, his short life. So, I say that to say, as I got older, I started looking more at his manga illustrations and things like that, and I just loved his art style. It was just so unique, easily recognizable. The expressions that he drew, it was so interesting because it was a mix of realistic and cartoony, and that's the same vibe I try to go for with my own art. I don't know how well I'm achieving that, but that's also the same thing I was going for. There were elements of realism, but also it's still cartoony. It still looks cartoony. The way he drew cars was very realistic. The way he drew machinery was very realistic, but the characters were still very simplistic and cartoony looking, but very pleasing to look at, and everything still meshed together very, well, very aesthetically. Like it's a talent that very few can replicate. And I think that's one of the things that made Toriyama so special to so many people. So, you know, I would, you know, for a long time I studied his work and I tried to, you know, try and find that perfect balance, but, you know, it's a lot harder to replicate than it looks. So, I just hope one day I can I could be half the artist he was. I hope I can even have a sliver of the impact he made on this world. It's truly something very rare, and I'm very thankful that I got to be alive at the same time as Toriyama, something that I unfortunately wasn't able to experience with another great inspiration of mine, Mr. Osamu Tezuka. Unfortunately, I didn't, you know, he passed away before I was born, but he's still a big inspiration on my art as well. So, you know, I'm very thankful that at least Toriyama, I was able to live during the same time period as him. Forever will be grateful, and will be grateful to him, because he's the only reason I'm an artist today. He's the reason why I have my platform today. You know, Red and Teresa wouldn't exist without him. You know, the game I'm working on wouldn't exist, wouldn't be, you know, in progress, if it wasn't for him. So, you know, it just feels appropriate that I, you know, push the art vlog back, push the Carol and the End of the World review back, just to express my gratitude towards Mr. Toriyama. Because without him, my life would be so different. It would be so different without him. So, he's the one who inspired me to unapologetically express myself through my art. And, you know, and I will continue to do that. I will continue to express myself as freely as I want through my art, just as Akira Toriyama did. And just unapologetically be me. And I think that's the biggest thanks I can give him, is just by continuing to be myself, and express that through my artwork from now until the day I die. And despite how sad I'm feeling from this loss and how devastating it is, at the same time, I'm just feeling more inspired than ever to go all out with my art, to go all out with my projects. And even in such a sad event, Akira Toriyama continues to inspire me and many other people. And I just hope that until the very end, he just realized just how special and how much he meant to everyone, and just how big of an inspiration he is to millions of people all around this planet. Yeah, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you watch all the way to the end, I'm glad I made it through this without crying. I teared up. I'm tearing up right now, but not crying. So that's a step in the right direction. So, you know, please, if you have any good memories with Dragon Ball Z, please leave them down in the comments below. Feel free to tell me how Toriyama shaped your childhood, shaped your life. I'd love to hear it. You know, let's just get some positivity in the comments, to negate the sadness. And let's just try to be happy that Mr. Toriyama was able to achieve his wildest dreams just by being himself. That's just something that not many people are blessed to have. So let's just be happy for him about that, and just be thankful. So I will forever be thankful to Akira Toriyama for just being so inspirational and being himself. But yeah, that's the end of the video. I will be posting the art vlog next week, and then after that will be the Carol and the End of the World review. Stay tuned for those. I just felt like this took priority over everything else because, you know, without him, without Akira Toriyama, I literally would not be the person I am today. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.